We're back with a different sort of video today. I wanted to switch it up between weekly vlogs, daily vlogs, and what I at the moment I'm calling in the studio with, or desk chats. I'm not quite sure what I want to call it yet. I feel like it'll be a working title. But basically where I'm at my desk and we just have a really quick chat about different aspects of business. Basically today I've written down a bunch of stuff on my Notion on my iPad. We're going to chat through 5 lessons that I've learned in business in the past 5 years. I genuinely cannot believe that I've been in business 5 years. It's honestly flown by, but yeah, let's have a chat about 5 lessons that I've learnt in business in that very long time. So the first one is speak to everyone and you'll speak to no one. I think the saying, you know, a jack of all trades, a master of none, is so true in this respect. Finding your niche and finding what you love to create or love to work on and leaning into that is super important. I think it's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing and seeing people bring out new services and thinking, oh my God, should I be doing that? Because I'm a social media manager, like in respect to my business, I'm a social media manager and they're doing this, so maybe I should be doing that, or maybe I should branch out. But when you don't specialize and niche down into your area of expertise and lean into that, you speak to everyone, but you're speaking to no one at the same time. You are not an expert in everything that you do. You cannot be a social media manager specializing in Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and then be a copywriter and a content creator and a video editor and a strategist and all of this. Like, all those roles are totally different within business, and it takes a complete expert to really get those roles right individually, and you cannot do everything. I think that's something that I've learned in business a lot. Is, don't get me wrong, I started out offering it all, like absolutely everything, and it wasn't for, you know, a good couple of years where I thought, actually, 1, I don't enjoy doing these services, 2, I'm not the best at them, like not my area of expertise, so why am I offering them? Like, I felt imposter syndrome doing them, so like, why should someone hire me? And don't get me wrong, you can get imposter syndrome and you can be a complete expert and know exactly what you're talking about, but I think you know when it's time that you shouldn't do those services anymore, or you just shouldn't advertise for those, and just really lean into what you love. For me, this is where it sounds wrong, but I love the strategy and being able to, you know, implement strategies for launches and new brands and all of that thing, and I love doing the aesthetics of that, but I don't necessarily love the management side of things and social media management, the ongoingness of it all, because I think the algorithm changes so much and people aren't prepared to adapt to that sometimes as a business owner, because it can be daunting and ever changing, and it can be really hard to keep up with that and get people to trust you. So yeah, I've just learned that when I've niched down and I really hone into and lean into my area of expertise, that's when I kind of flourish, because people will see that, they will appreciate that that is my area of expertise and I'm not trying to be a jack of all trades. So yeah, that is my first point. The second lesson is, don't speak anything into existence before you've done it yourself. Wow, I need to take my own advice on this. I feel like I need to take my own advice on a lot of these, just to let you know. In terms of launches, new services, when you've done it, you can tell people. There is a saying about this, but I can't actually remember what it is. But essentially, it's the idea that if you're speaking something into existence, and obviously you should speak things into existence, like, you know, with manifesting and all of that kind of stuff, but that should be for yourself privately, personally, with your partner, people that you trust. And I just think that you should keep your ideas stumm until you have completed it, and then by all means shout about it from the rooftop. And that kind of can lead on to another point and another lesson that I'm going to chat about. But essentially, you're putting all of this pressure on yourself to, you've spoken this to someone, for example, and they might be a competitor and they might run away with an idea similar and want to do something themselves, and you've put that out there and you've given yourself all of this unnecessary pressure that you really don't need to give yourself. For what? For, you know, your friend knowing that you're going to do something and they might be able to go and do it, you know, 2 weeks faster. It won't mean it's as good, but I just think you should keep things quiet. Also, the fact that a lot of things, especially with like products and services or things that you're testing, it can take months, if not years, for these things to come to fruition, especially stuff that I'm working on at the moment that includes like actual products or physical things. It has taken me over a year to find a sample for something, and I just think, you know, you shouldn't speak these things to a bunch of people, because what's to say that someone next week doesn't go and just find a shitty sample and launch exactly what you're going to do? Yeah, it won't be great. It won't be great for them either, but you know, it just takes away from all of your hard work. So it's just more so just keeping your cards close to your chest, and then it also doesn't set you up for failure. It, you know, just allows you to feel like you can really concentrate and work on that project yourself without having that immense pressure of, oh my god, it needs to be done by next month because I need to launch it next month because I've already told someone on Instagram stories that I'm going to be doing this, or I put a countdown here. Like, just don't give yourself added pressure until you finalize it and it's physically there and you are ready to launch. Don't do it. Also, I'm doing a launch program at the moment, and launching is so important, like incredibly important. I know this anyway as a social media strategist and manager, but getting your launches wrong and doing them in 2 posts is awful. And so you shouldn't rush things just to get them out because someone else has done it, or because you think, you know, someone else is going to do something. It should just be for you and what you want to share, and however long that takes, it takes that long. You shouldn't have to put a time scale to that. The next lesson is one that genuinely has really changed the way I feel towards other business owners, people in my industry. It's really changed my outlook on things and given me a lot of positivity. And I actually shared a post about this over on Well Creative. If you guys have been following me on Instagram for a while, you may know that I have another Instagram account called Well Creative Co. And essentially it's a place where our tagline is rest often, create more. And I just want to address and promote the fact that being a creative is very tough, it's very stressful, it's a lot on your brain, it's very easy to burn out, but you shouldn't have to feel like that always. You should really promote wellness alongside being a creative to support, you know, your creativity as a person within your industry. And I'm very much, you know, about taking regular breaks, going on walks, like having a proper morning routine, really resting at the weekends, having like trips away to look forward to reset, things like that. That's kind of the content that I share over there, and I want to be doing a lot more of that this year. But I've really struggled with it with all of my Instagram accounts. Actually, you'll probably see on Any Day as well, but I really struggle with actually going on Instagram at the moment. So this is my next lesson anyway, and I'll speak about that. Their next move can't happen until you make yours. I've had so many people in this industry copy my business, my graphics, my branding, my business ideas, the things that I do, this YouTube channel, so many different things. Incredibly disheartening. It doesn't bother me. Well, I say, rephrase that. It doesn't make me angry. It does bother me. But I just come from a point of view that if they're doing it second anyway, they're second best. And like I say, they can't make their next move until you make yours. They can't make a move or grow in their business until you do something and they can copy it. So really, I don't feel for these people at all. And it's really just changed my outlook on it, really. When I used to get really upset and angry before when people would copy me and think, why are you doing that? I'm almost sad for them now that they can't actually just think for themselves. And it happens way more often than you think. I don't share. I think I've maybe shared once where someone has copied me, but it honestly happens a lot. Like at least every month there's something that happens. Yeah, so I shared this post on Well Creative. I will pop it up here so that you can see it, and I'll leave a link to it down below. But basically, I've written here, people copy you, that's a fact. It happens all the time, more than I'd like to admit. But there are certain people in your industry who genuinely cannot make their next move until you make yours. So stay in your lane, you do you and thrive. There will always be second best and never do it as good as you. You can do something incredible and they will be so inspired that they want to copy it and do it themselves. They will never ever be you as a person, and they will never ever be your business or your brand as hard as they try. And you're obviously doing something right if all these people want to copy you and copy what you're doing. And I just think when people have to copy other people to get somewhere, they're not truly passionate about what they do. They're not truly passionate in their industry because they don't know the next step and they have to copy someone else. So they will never have that creativity and, you know, uniqueness about them that you do. They will always be second best and they will always be following in your footsteps. They will never be the person making those steps. To actually grow and scale. So, well, as easy as it is for me to say, but trust me, I know how hard it is to listen to this at the time. Do not take it personally. Yes, it's flattering in a way, and people say, oh, you should be flattered when people copy you. I'm not flattered, because it's actually really flipping annoying. But just understand and know that they will never be you. They will never have your personality. They will never come up with their own ideas. They'll never have your creativity, and more importantly, they will never ever ever be your brand and business. So don't stress about it as much. And that's what I think. I just laugh at it now. I'm like, oh, another person's making a YouTube channel in the industry. Another person is doing this. You do you, stay in your lane, and you can't go far wrong, and just let them follow up behind you and keep copying your every move. Fourth lesson that I've learnt is surround yourself with like-minded people who will push you to be your best self. I feel like it took me a long time to learn this. If you surround yourself with negativity and overwhelm and burnout, that's exactly how you will feel in your business. I'm a big advocate for having people in your circle that really support you and push you, and are almost like better than you in a sense, like people who you can aspire to, people who can really push you and have honest conversations with you and tell you exactly how it is, as opposed to people who just agree with your every move and copy your every move. I actually really prefer having people not in my industry to chat to, because I just think as much as you can have this community and you can be friends, like obviously I have so many friends who are social media managers, and some of my best friends in business are, you know, in my industry, but I genuinely have made amazing friends and made extremely important business decisions from their opinions of people that haven't even been in my industry, because they don't have the understanding of the industry, but they have the understanding of business, and they have a different perspective on it, and it's actually really nice to get that perspective. This past year I have really whittled down the people and made my circle incredibly small of the people within business that I speak to and trust. It's my own personal preference. Personally, being in a big group of girls gives me PTSD to high school days. It's a competition to compete for the best position, and I really don't have time for that in business. I want to concentrate on myself, and ever since I have stepped away and concentrated on myself, my business has honestly flourished from it. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for keeping your circle small and just having those couple of people that you really trust, people that you really value the opinion of. You don't have to go to them for everything, but when you are in, you know, a tricky situation with a client, or maybe there's like a certain program you need, or you need to ask them about their processes or something, you can trust them, you can go to them, you can ask them about pricing. You don't feel like it's a competition. They genuinely are there because they want to help you, and they're going to be a better person for you in business, and they're going to give you that optimism and that growth that you need to scale your business and grow even more. So yeah, think about your circle. It is so important. I cannot stress that enough. And the final lesson is probably the lesson that I need to listen to this back, or watch this back and take for myself, but it is spending more time on your business than in it, and treating yourself like your highest paying client. I am such a bad person for this. I'm not very good when it comes to, you know, actually spending time on my business and not on my client, in my client work. I have really tried this year especially to designate at least half a day or a full day to any day, and just have a full admin day where I just get all of the back end stuff done. Any marketing, any invoices, anything that I'm working on, any passion projects, anything that I really want to focus on and work towards, I will do in that day, and then all of my clients will have my time for the rest of the week. But I think it's important to remember that clients come and go. That is just standard within business. People will come and go, and they won't think twice about getting rid of you. But you have to be in a position where when a client leaves, you're not thinking, shit, where is my next pay slip coming from? You know, absolute panic. I'm going to go into a deep dark hole now because I'm sad that I've lost a client. You can be like, that's a real shame. You're missing out on my amazing services, but I've got so-and-so waiting in the wings on my wait list to come in and take your place. Or I've got, you know, a passive income stream, or I'm launching a new workshop next month that's going to be a passive income stream, and it's going to bring me double what I earn from that one client in a month. It's super important to spend time making your processes better, updating your services, updating your packages, growing as a business, putting the time and effort into your marketing, so that when those things happen and when you lose clients, because ultimately it happens like that, it's like the circle of life, but the circle of business. Clients do come and go, but when that happens, you are prepared for it, and you honestly, it doesn't rattle you, because you know you've got people on a wait list waiting there, or you've got a huge audience in your email marketing subscriber list that are warm leads that are ready to be sold to, basically, because they trust you and love everything that you do, and always support you in that. So it is super important, and yes, I need to take my own advice on this, but building an email list especially is so important. Keeping up to date with all your marketing and treating yourself like your highest paying client. Make sure that you're up to date with everything. Don't slack on stuff. Always be promoting yourself, but have those systems and processes in place where if a client does go, you've got people waiting there ready to replace them. And you can sit, have a think, what else am I going to launch? How am I going to attract my new client? Maybe I need to make some content so that I can sign another client this month. You're not sat there stressing, thinking, how on earth am I going to pay my rent this month and my bills and go out and go on this trip that I've planned and go out and see my friends. And you don't need to feel like that in business. So put yourself first and spend more time on your business than in it. That is something that I learned when I did coaching right at the very start of my business, when it was called Peace Social Management, with Alice Benham. I will always remember that sentence that she said to me: you need to spend more time on your business than in it. So just to go over so that, you know, we can write down any notes that we need to. First lesson, speak to everyone and you'll speak to no one. Become an expert in your industry, in that one area that you really love doing, as opposed to being a jack of all trades. Lesson number 2, don't speak anything into existence until you've done it yourself and you've signed it off and it's ready to go. There is literally no need to put that added pressure on yourself and give yourself a timeline. Take your time, however long that is going to take. Give yourself as much time as you need. There is literally no need to add the pressure. Third lesson is, I feel like I'm doing a Scouts promise or Scouts honour, whatever that's called, brownies. Their next move can't happen until you make yours. So always just think optimistically and positively when people copy you and, you know, share your work. Stay in your lane, do what you do, thrive in your area of expertise, and let them follow on behind you and copy whatever you do, because remember, they will never ever be you or your business. Fourth lesson, surround yourself with like-minded people, people that will lift you up, people that will bring positivity into your life, people that will make you happy every time you see their name pop up on your phone, not stressed. It will push you to be your best self and ultimately make your business life a whole lot happier, and you can also grow with them as well. You won't feel like you're being held back in any way. And finally, number 5 is spend time on your business and not in it. As Alice Benham would say, treat yourself like your highest paying client and you can't go far wrong. Oh, and that's a reminder to, if you haven't started already, start your email list. You are so silly if you don't have an email list or want to grow an email list, because let's just put this into your head. If Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever platforms you are on disappeared overnight, which they can do, because essentially we're all not even paying rent, we're just living rent free on these apps, where would your audience go? Where would they find you? Where would they be? Because they're not on your website, there's no way for them to contact you unless it's via your contact form. So if you don't know where to start, I recommend Flowdesk. I've actually got a 50% off link, so I will leave that in the description box below. You can sign up via my link and you'll get 50% off. It's an amazing software for email marketing, and so easy to use and very aesthetic and design friendly. So work on your email subscriber list and you can't go far wrong. So yeah, that is my little, whatever I'm going to call this, in the studio with, studio chats, at the desk with, desk chats. I don't really know what I'm going to call it yet, but I hope you learned something from that. And if you want to chat about any of the points, feel free to comment below, drop me a message in my DMs over on Instagram. I will leave my handle at the end of this video and in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week in a video which is probably going to be a little weekly vlog. So yeah, see you next week, guys. Bye.